Well, hello, internet people in the world out there. My name is Troy Bernier, and I'm with the Miami International Science Fiction Film Festival. And today, join us here with my co-host Brooklyn Murphy, and we have some extraordinary filmmakers with us today. In this next set of interviews, we have Razan Takash with Midas. We have Darren Cohen from Time Again. We have Caitlin Major with The Snake Pit from Nicholas Tesla's Excellent Adventure. And we have Gnu Benton from Looking Glass and Jim Eves from You Might Get Lost. Woo! It's serious, guys. And we have an excellent lineup, and we're just going to be getting to know a little bit of them and discovering if there's anything new and why we should watch their film. Starting off, Razan, meet us. How you doing?
Hi, Midas.
Midas
Midas with a 1.
Midas with 1. I'm going to change that in my notes right now because it's driving me. But tell us a little bit about you. Tell us what we need to know about you.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me, guys. So my name is Razan. I am from Jordan, and I live in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. And this is where I attempt to make genre films in the middle of nowhere. So I've been a fan of film since I was a little kid. Since I was a little kid growing up in Jordan, I was a fan of sci-fi, and I didn't know anybody else who liked sci-fi. I didn't know anybody else who liked Star Wars. And it wasn't a big thing where I grew up. I just had the videotapes and I watched them like a crazy person. And ever since then, I've been just fascinated with genre filmmaking. I moved here when I was 18 to study, and then I went to film school after that, and I did my master's in film. And then I worked in production here locally, which is mostly, corporate commercial work, not really film. And I started pursuing film on my own in my free time when I can. So it's kind of crazy. I also am a professor, a film professor here as well. So I teach film at the American University here in Dubai. And I also have my own YouTube channel where I talk about films. So I basically don't sleep. That's
What's the name of your YouTube channel?
Raz Reviews.
Wow, Raz Reviews. That's cool. Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You are in what city did you say you're in again?
Dubai.
Wow, you're in Dubai. That place looks sci-fi.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
But you can't shoot in most of the locations. They're so fancy. They won't let you in. So it's a little bit of a struggle filming here.
Yeah, we had a film from there way back. I don't know if you remember, Brooklyn. It was either our first or second year. We had a film where someone had some kind of device that they were selling, and the film, half of the short film was fight scenes that took place in Dubai. It was really interesting. I'll have to go back to see it. I'll have to go back to that. But that's pretty neat, Razan. We're very impressed, and we're so thrilled that you found us. How did you find us, by the way?
Just Film Freeway. I mean, I function in a world where I don't really have a lot of access to film festivals, to sci-fi, to opportunities. There isn't really a film industry here. Again, it's more of a corporate industry. So I made this film because I wanna take a step forward and try to establish myself as a genre filmmaker. And of course, it's very hard to find funding or anything. So this was made for practically no budget. This is self-funded completely, and it's relying on the kindness of strangers. So the idea is to reach out as far as I can. So I found you amongst other festivals, and thank you so much for having me. I feel very tiny amongst the beautiful films that are here, but I'm very happy.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Those are kind words.
Tell us a little bit about your film.
Sure. So my film Midas is a sort of an imagination of our future in terms of artificial intelligence. It tells a story of Sybil, a woman who works for a tech company that has created the perfect child robot, an artificial intelligence robot that adapts to its parents' wants and needs. So it starts as neutral, sexless thing, and then it sort of morphs and adapts to what you want. She works for this company and they're supposed to release it in an expo, and she's doing the final test. She's kind of stuck with the robot. The tech support couldn't be there. So she's testing the robot, and little by little, the little kid robot Midas is becoming like her child, and she starts to develop this strange bond with it, and she doesn't know how to deal with it, and it becomes a difficult situation.
But the ending was a real twist for me. I was like, what? I didn't see that happening.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, that was, I love the ending.
Thank you. I mean, the ending came from, we wrote this film, me and Nidal Murra, my screenwriter. We actually did this for a competition that was happening here in Dubai. There was a sort of a hotel chain that wanted screenplays as a competition for a scene that's a two-header, two characters in their hotel location, and the winner was going to get produced. Again, so I'm almost looking for funding. So I'm like, okay, so let's come up with something, two people in a hotel room. And we, of course, as always, I found out about the deadline only a day before it was due. So we literally had just that night to write the film and submit it. So we sat down and we brainstormed. I told him, I want to do something like, I think the most interesting, I want to be different, not just, a couple in a hotel room, whatever. I'm like, I want to do like kind of a Turing test type of situation that goes weird. And then from, talking through this together, we started thinking about, a child robot. And it also tapped into sort of my fears of having children, and how I feel like it's sort of like a program that is deep inside me that's dormant, but one day it's going to pop out. I'm going to want to have kids. So I'm kind of dealing with my own insecurities when it comes to that. And we came up with the idea. And then while we were writing the treatment together at like 5 a.m., the twist ending just popped into my head. I'm like, oh my God. And then we wrote it, and then we just submitted it 2 hours later. We were actually shortlisted for that competition, but they wouldn't make it because they said it's too expensive. And then I made it for free. So there we go.
That's
Wow.
amazing. Wow.
That is amazing.
So the last question that I would like to ask is, two questions. Why do we need to see this film?
The cool thing about Midas, for me, of course, as a director, I'll always look at it with the most critical eye humanly possible. But I think the big hook in it is that the ending is exactly what Brooklyn was saying. It is a big twist. And there's sort of a lot of hints and a lot of visual elements that were placed in there to hint at that you won't notice the first time around. But the moment you see the ending, you're going to want to go back and watch it again and look for the clues. And I find that to be the coolest aspect of it, because I'm a sci-fi geek. So every film I've seen, I've rewatched 20 times to look at the details.
Well, if you're a sci-fi geek, what sci-fi show or series inspired you to make a science fiction?
Yeah, well, definitely for this film in particular, the inspiration definitely came from something like Black Mirror, sort of an imagination of, because here in Dubai, everything is so commercialized that even technological advances would become a commodity 100%. It's just how life is around here. So this kind of works, like we have expos all the time and things like that. And also Ex Machina is a film that was very powerful for me and definitely influenced this. It's just the relationship between human and robot and the existential questions that come from that.
Right. Impressive. So what's next for you?
Well, next is I produced another sci-fi for the producer of this film. So we sort of did an exchange of favors. So he produced my film, so I produced his short. So that's called Idi, and it's a very similar sci-fi short, a little bit of a comedy. So that's out now doing the runs in festivals. I also wrote a feature film that's sort of a zombie comedy set in my country of Jordan. Sort of making fun of our, very strict conservative traditions and our reaction to coronavirus, which is, tradition is more important than being careful in Corona. So it's about a family that insists on having a wedding during an actual zombie outbreak. But the wedding is important.
We have a lot of those. We have a lot of those. We call them super spreader events.
It sounds like a reality show.
Yeah, it's actually inspired
right now.
Yeah, it's actually inspired by the fact that in my country of Jordan, the biggest super spreader was an actual wedding. And in my family, we also had members who insisted on getting married during the outbreak. So I'm like, what if it's a zombie outbreak? Would you still get married? And the answer in my film is, yeah, they still would.
That's nuts. That's nuts. That's amazing. Well, can you please put the link in the chat here for us, the name of that next project, so we could keep our eyes on it.
Sure, for sure. It's called Zaina's Wedding.
Zaina's Wedding. My God. Wow. Well, Razan, I really appreciate you putting in the effort to make this film and actually putting in a show of strength, because you got a lot of no's and you did it anyway. And that's definitely something to speak of. And that's a common theme, to be honest, with the independent filmmaker these days.
Mhm.
So we tip our hats to you. We cheers. Okay.
Thank you so much.
What time is it there right now?
1 a.m.
Wow.
See that dedication? Anyway.
And you look that good at 1 a.m.? My God.
I was watching a film to stay up. I was watching a movie actually.
Wow.
To stay
A zombie movie. Zombies on caffeine.
up. Yeah.
Well, listen, once again, thank you so much for being with us. We look forward to showcasing Midas so that everybody can enjoy it and stick around during this coming week. There's going to be a whole lot more for you to see and participate in.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
All right,
Thank
bye-bye now.
you.
All right, so going on to our next on the list, we have how would Caitlin like to go?
Sure.
Sounds
ready.
good, Caitlin. So thank you so much for making or being involved in making this web series. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name's Caitlin Major. I'm from Australia, but I now live in Canada, in Toronto. I moved to Toronto in about 2013, and I shortly afterwards started working at Tin Man, now Skyship Entertainment, as a compositor, and then sort of in various other roles doing background design and that kind of thing. We're a small boutique animation studio. I grew up watching a lot of anime, as you can probably tell, and with very little parental oversight, a lot of movies that I probably shouldn't have. And so...
Well, tell us that. You're gonna have to tell us. You're gonna have to tell us.
Yeah, you opened up the box of worms.
At about 7 years old, my sister's favorite movie to watch on repeat every single day was Terminator 2. So that it was like I was probably indoctrinated at a very young age to like the concepts of sci-fi, which is why I love it so much.
Amazing.
Yeah, and also just like a lot of animation, which is why I ended up going to animation school in Australia and then working here at this animation studio.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. I want to bring up here one of your posters, which is a real cool one here. Can you tell us what? Here you go.
So this poster and okay, so I'll start from the beginning. The Snake Pit is actually a spin-off of a YouTube series called Super Science Friends, which was created by Brett Jubenville, who is the creative director here at Tin Man Skyship. And when I actually ended up working at this studio because I had donated to their Kickstarter that they were running to fund the first episode of Super Science Friends, and then eventually it got to the point where we wanted to do this spin-off series called The Snake Pit, which is a parody of do you guys know like the Shark Tank, or I think in the UK it's called Dragon's Den, but essentially like the premise is that it's like some investors and inventors will go and pitch their ideas to try and win investment. So the premise of the Snake Pit is that Nikola Tesla is going into the Snake Pit every week to pitch his ridiculous ideas to this panel of investors, which includes like Westinghouse and Edison and, you know, his sort of like famous rivals. This episode, which is the final episode of The Snake Pit, is also a parody of Doctor Who. So there's so many layers here. It's a parody of Dragon's Den or the Shark Tank, and it's also a Doctor Who parody featuring Alexander Graham Bell as the eponymous Doctor Who. He shows up in a telephone box because, you know, he invented the telephone, and then he steals Tesla away to go on this ridiculous, wacky adventure and save a mysterious robot. And it also features Ada Lovelace and Alan Turing as characters.
So tell me, where can we watch this right now? Is it possible to watch this on conventional?
Yes, you can watch this on the Super Science Friends YouTube channel. You can watch the entire Snake Pit series. You can watch the entire Super Science Friends series, which is 7 episodes, and they're all great and hilarious. And I know that you're all huge nerds, so you'll love it because
it's fun. It's fun. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's a lot of like
so
referential humor.
Wow.
Yeah.
So would you be okay for you to tell us what's next? What's next coming with you?
Sure. So I'm kind of working a lot more now on the kids side of things. So not as adult as the Super Science Friends series. I'm working on a series called Rymington Square, which is poems that are being animated. So we've written a bunch of sort of wacky kids poems, and we have these cute little monster characters that are sort of animating to these poems.
I have to ask, because like I said, I've got a 5-year-old who watches this content all the time. And how do you guys feel about Anna and Elsa?
Oh, like the Frozen characters?
It's Come Play With Me. Come on, you got to know who they are.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't.
It's a bunch of dolls and hands playing with these dolls, and they're talking, and they put in these massive productions. They turn dolls into massive productions. I'm serious, folks. They have probably a staff of 12 people working behind the scenes to produce these programs of dolls. Each episode has like millions of views. The moment it comes out, it gets millions of views on YouTube. They have billions of views per year. They're second. I think they're second to Ryan's World.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know what you guys think. Is there a competition?
I don't know. I don't have a 5-year-old, Troy, so maybe I'll go borrow one.
I don't know.
Internet. They dominate YouTube. You would not believe it. I'm dead serious.
Despite the fact that I work at creating content for YouTube, for kids YouTube, I actually don't watch any of it. I don't have any children, and I don't watch children's YouTube channels on the reg.
I understood. I am totally force-fed this stuff like you can't imagine. So I lose sleep with it. So anyway, we could definitely go into a little further down the line when we talk about distribution and marketing, because I think it's something that should be studied. If you're a filmmaker, study who gets 500 million views a year. And as they progress with time, they start out inside this little house where they're making their episodes 4 or 5 years ago. 3 years ago, they're in this real nice house. Now they're conducting these operations inside mansions.
I'm kind of fascinated in how that will eventually find its way into popular culture, because so much of the stuff that I grew up watching is now, being referenced in other like films, big Hollywood movies. So I'm kind of fascinated to see how the kids who grow up watching YouTube, how that is going to sort of start to influence other like wider culture when they are the ones that start making things.
And then we've got to switch. Think of the people who grew up in the 80s, how 80s music is real popular today. It's so popular that a lot of top artists are making songs from those old 80s songs, like the guy The Weeknd that did the halftime show. It was a complete salute to 80s music. Well, I guess nobody watched. But anyway, you didn't miss much. But anyway, so thank you so much, Caitlin. We really appreciate your time here. And we'll see you later on during the festival. There'll be plenty of other opportunities to interact with everybody.
Thank you for having me.
All right. All right. Next on our list is GNU Benton.
Hello, how are you? I'm GNU Benton.
Good. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Doing pretty good. Just kind of came back from North Dakota, so it was quite a shock coming from negative 25
Ooh,
today, which was 54. So
wow.
I don't think I've ever had weather where my eyelashes stuck together
Oh my gosh.
outside. So it was,
And tell everybody the title of your film.
the title of my film is Looking Glass. I have the poster behind me. And
All right.
Looking Glass actually came about 2006. I was actually contacted by Sundance, and they wanted to know if there were any Native American people in my my place of employment, which is the American Indian Community House back then in New York City. And they had a big arts program where they helped actors and so on get gigs. And they called up, and there was a gentleman that worked there for the Flying Eagle Fund, mentioned my name. And of course, I said, I don't have anything. I have to go home and start writing. So overnight, I wrote a 15-page script called Looking Glass, which was accepted into a fellowship called the Ford Foundation Fellowship.
Wow.
But back then, they didn't have any funding for small programs such as that. So it was very difficult. I had an all-expense-paid trip to Sundance. And because of the way the original script was structured, I feel like it wasn't its time yet. And I think today's atmosphere, today's acceptability for certain issues and topics allowed it to be made. I think back then it was a concept that was before its time, literally. So it wasn't able to get made, and time went on. I met a man by the name of Brian Downey, which you can see on the poster here. And I met him at a powwow, the Shinnecock Indian Powwow, which is in Southampton, New York. I'm part of a drum group called the Youngblood Singers. We sing traditional music for powwows all along the East Coast.
Wow.
And my cousin Fordell, and we call him Flav, he sings with us, had this gentleman with him. And it was kind of funny the way we met, because he placed his camera on one of my headdresses. So I had to kind of yell at him real good and embarrassed him a little bit. But I saw the work that he did, and I went and apologized. I said, hey, you want to make a short film? So I sent him the script, and he said, dude, we have to make this. I love this a lot. So for the next maybe 2 years in the time that we had, we created this short film, Looking Glass. It's a little bit different from the original script, because of all ideas. It's a little bigger on script than it was able to be in real life, due to money, due to access to technologies, people, resources, things like that. So we did the best we could, and I think that we came up with something that was very touching and spiritual. The way the concept really came about was I was singing with another drum group at a powwow in Red Lake, Minnesota. And if nobody knows what a drum group is, there's a big drum, usually about 22 inches wide, and it's surrounded by a group of singer men, probably about 8 to 15, depending on how big the drum group is. And there's a lot of downtime at some of these bigger powwows, because they go from drum to drum all the way throughout the day. And sometimes you're sitting there for hours, and you talk a lot. And we got into, of course, colonialism and the idea of that. And the concept came up. I don't know who said it, but somebody sat there and said, man, I wish I had a time machine. I would go back in time and stop the boats from coming, because we had that passion sometimes when talking about the atrocities of history when it comes to Native American people.
Right.
So it clicked, and I said, yeah, what if we had a time machine? You know, I think nobody really thought about that before, you know. So with Looking Glass, one of the things I wanted to do was break away from the past that gets out of the stereotype of seeing Native American people in the past. I wanted to get out of the present and look towards the future, in that how do we combine all these in an element where it conveys a story that is true to who we are and is true to our creation stories as Indian people, right? So one of the stories that we have, I'm Ojibwe. We come from the Great Lakes today, but 900 years ago, we had a prophet that came to us and said that the light-skinned race would be coming. Pick up your spiritual things and move westward, because a lot of bad things are going to happen. And this was a prophecy. This was real life that happened to us. So I incorporated that story because we don't know who that prophet was. It's not told who that was. All we know that there are 7 prophets that came through to our people as we made our way from the ocean here on the East Coast to the Great Lakes. And in that time, there was a lot of prophecies, and the 4th prophet told the people that the light-skinned race is coming, pick your stuff up and move. So I wanted to reflect on today and why that story is so important to us, because a lot of the things that we prophesied are coming true, including the time that we're living in today, the time of this virus that was foretold a long time ago. So at that time, there was a lot of racial tension that was being infiltrated into the media. Like it was just the big topic, race, the division of people, and what that means to how it is that we're supposed to be living our lives, what that means to us as human beings. How do we move forward? All these questions and all these things come into play. So it had to be a modern trigger that would cause a Native American person to look to the past for the answers and what that means for our future, and what that reconciliation means to be able to accept. I come from a background as well with drug and alcohol prevention, and the theory of acceptance and moving forward from bad things that have happened to you. So Looking Glass came about with compiling all of those things together the best way that we could with what we had.
Wow.
And,
That's pretty deep.
Yeah.
and
I was always curious to know if the story was true to home, or was that just pure fiction about the father dying due to racism, or
no,
was that just fiction?
that was just a fictional story based on the climate at the time.
Okay.
There's people dying because of racial violence. And it all has to do with colonialism, in theory. The way the world is. I don't want to get too deep into.
Yeah, I just when I was watching the film, I thought I wonder if this was somewhat based on something true, because it was just so passionate. The actor was just so intent on saving his dad.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Sorry guys, but
well, the real spoiler is at the end, and his true calling through this is the picture of our time machine.
Oh, the time machine was super cool. I thought I'd like one in my bedroom. I'd stick my bed in there.
So the theory of the time machine comes from our traditional ceremony, the Sweat Lodge, and all of the theories that come behind that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to explain all of that, and I didn't want to like. There's something as Native American people where we try to really not put our traditional teachings into media. It's things that we hold sacred and dear to us. So I try to reflect those things visually and try not to tell too much about it. But the Sweat Lodge, for those who don't know, is literally a time machine ceremony for us. It's a place that we go to when we need help. So if you can think of that towards a story, it's a place that it's basically our church. We go in this, if you can see on the screen, if you can consider this structure all made of wood and it's covered, and you'll see it in the film. It's covered with tarps. There are hot rocks that come in, and we heat those rocks with the fire, and we also douse them with water. A lot of people compare it to a sauna, but we don't like saying that because it's not recreational. It's a very spiritual ceremony. And it's said that those medicine men that are able to run the ceremony speak through time. You know, they're able to speak to the past. And those who are really good can speak to the future and remember the future.
Wow.
So if you think of that as a concept of trying to bring this ceremony to life as an actual time machine process where you can actually physically move through time. Also coming into conversation sometimes is that we don't know how powerful these ceremonies were because we had a lot systematically stolen from us as Native American people. We have no idea how powerful medicine people could be. So if you can kind of extrapolate that as a Native American people looking at your own people and saying that we had this ability to prophesize, look into time, look into future, and the reasons behind that. There was one interview I had talking about the process of the ceremony. And if you can take a simple object like this, which is just minerals flowing with energy, that's exactly what a sweat lodge is.
Wow.
You're taking these rocks, which we say have memory. Where did that concept of memory come from in mineral and quartz? It comes from our traditional teachings of the stone, and that it holds memory of all time, past, present, and future.
Yeah.
Use those stones in ceremony. You can look at that, look through time, past, present, and future. And it said that ceremony, when you do it correctly, it'll answer any question that you have, So bringing that into a heartfelt desire to need help because of colonialism and looking to your past and what that means to your future, he basically becomes and decides to become that prophet to go and warn his people in the past. So he's essentially making this John Connor sort of loop where if he doesn't do the ceremony, that prophet helps. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it was beautiful. Thank you for that elaboration.
Yeah, that's something. There will definitely be. We actually have a couple panels that will be circulating over the weekend for people to take a look at. There's, of course, not a lot of slots for everybody. Period. That's just the fact we have. But folks who find a deep interest, at the very least, if you can't participate as a panelist, you can participate interacting with the panelists.
Mm-hmm.
So we definitely want to keep that in mind, because what you're saying, albeit spiritual, the way we look at things in science, I don't know, every time you turn around, science comes up and says time travel is possible. So, who knows it first? The mind that's capable of doing it, or the mind that develops the technology to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So one way or the other, it's going to come together.
Mm-hmm.
So the last thing I say is, what's next? What's next with you? What else are you working on? What else are you thinking about?
There's a few different scripts that I'm almost complete with, but the the script that I'm kind of proud of right now is called Iron Shirt, and I put the link in the private chat. It's a Iron Shirt is actually a child superhero, Native American superhero, and that's based off of our warriors of past that were selected by our communities to wear these shirts. And if you can think of Crazy Horse and Geronimo,
I know where you're going with it.
legends say that they were bulletproof or they were ghost-like and they were able to move and be undetected, or bullets would go right through them as if they weren't even there. So if you can take this concept into the future, into a story that's kind of modernized, you would come up with a Native American child superhero that would go into conflict with a very deep issue pertaining to Native American rights today. So
Wow. Look forward to that.
Yeah, definitely. Keep us in mind.
Yeah, keep us posted.
All right. So going forward, thanks again, Gnu. This has been a pleasure.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
So definitely stick around. Remember, stick around for the rest of the week. There's a lot in store. All right. Next on our list was Darren, and we actually have someone coming on board, Boris, at the same time. How you doing, Boris?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much.
All right, looks fantastic, man. Fantastic shot there. We're going to start with Darren, so just stand by.
Thank you.
All right, Gnu. All right, Darren.
Hi.
Thanks so much for being patient, and tell us a little bit about yourself and your film.
I'm from South Florida originally. I was always an indoor kid. I would spend my weekends watching movies and TV, a lot of Back to the Future, a lot of Doctor Who. I went to the University of Florida for undergrad, learned that films could actually wind up being a career. Thought that was amazing. I wanted to learn more, so I went out to LA, got my master's in film at USC, and made my film Time Again, which is a sci-fi time travel rom-com set in the 1980s.
Wow. Yeah, it's the first thing that jumped in my mind was Back to the Future when I saw this.
Oh yeah. I like to say, I mean, it takes on a lot of the tropes of Back to the Future, but I like to think that it's a film that assumes that the characters themselves have probably seen Back to the Future in the film. It assumes the audience has seen Back to the Future. So yeah, I wanted to really take on my favorite tropes of just Back to the Future and all my favorite sci-fi movies and TV shows and think, well, what do I love about them and what isn't so great about them? What wouldn't work in real life? If there was a character, you know, who wanted to be a time traveler, what would they be like? Maybe they wouldn't be this glamorous person. Maybe they would be kind of a weirdo living in a garage. So
We got plenty of those. Especially coming in Florida, bro.
oh yeah.
Florida.
Yeah, I have to say, I love the outfit, the time jacket machine that you invented. I want one. That was
We made
cool.
the joke in the film that it looks like a suicide vest because
Yeah, totally. It was.
we had to get it cleared by the police. The USC campus police had to take a look at it, and we had to have prop signs that said this is not a real weapon. This is a prop
Are you
weapon.
serious?
Yep.
Wow.
I had to bring it to the police station and carefully tell them, okay, I'm going to open the trunk of my car. I have a prop in there. It looks like a suicide vest. It is not a suicide vest. And they laughed.
Wow. It's a time travel vest. We're like, okay, sir, in the back of the car.
Of course.
Yeah. Real quick before I forget, folks, it's a little. Our logistics are really going haywire over here. If you do have a trailer that you'd like for us to show, please put it in the private chat, and we'll try to make sure to show at least a clip of it. We definitely
Or
want
a
to do. We have
poster.
clips here, but it's an overwhelming amount of material that's on my desktop at the moment. All right, so the next question then is, Darren, can you tell us a little bit about some of the other exciting parts of producing your production?
I mean, just writing it was fun because, as I said, I've consumed a lot of time travel, and going through it was just taking a lot of time travel information and trying to put it into one cohesive story. But yeah, I think just recreating the 80s, trying to have a lot of extras with 80s music and 80s outfits. There's a lot that can go wrong on a film set. We had a fire. We were shooting in Santa Clarita, California. Yeah, there was a wildfire the morning of, so we kind of woke up that morning not knowing if we'd even be allowed to shoot. So there's a lot that can go wrong, but no, luckily it was a fun shoot. Everyone was great. Everyone had a good time.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, of course, not to drag things out, but I got to ask you, why should we see this film?
We should see Time Again because it is a fun, lighthearted, sappy comedy, and the world is a terrifying place right now, and everyone's filled with a lot of anxiety and depression, and I think in a world like this, a fun, sappy comedy is all we need.
Comedy is good.
Comedy is good.
Always works. Any ideas on what's next?
I just finished my master's at USC, so I'm going to go see what the real world looks like. Thank you very much.
USC Trojans, right?
Fight on.
Yeah.
I'm in the early stages of writing a feature. It's also a rom-com that doesn't have time travel in it, but I'll say that time travelers feature very heavily in it. You can kind of think of it as a Terminator rom-com. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Darren. We really appreciate you being patient with us and coming on board. It's really good. I really appreciate it. The fans appreciate it, and we look forward to speaking more throughout the festival.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye for now. All right. All right. Jim, we're going to be going for the long haul, okay? It's going to be a long haul, man. We have Boris is with us, and we have Richard right behind him. That's okay with you?
That's fine with me. I might need a bathroom break in a minute. If that's all right.
That's okay.
Don't we have a commercial break coming up, Troy? Don't you have to?
To be honest, let's have that commercial break. Thank you so much.
Commercial break.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Commercial break. You got 5. You can minimize yourself, and I'll bring you back. Or do you want to stay in the green room till it's your time?
Chuck me in the green room. I'm enjoying watching, but yeah, chuck.
That was a fast Chuck. Boom.
Now, a few words from our sponsor
Sponsors.
and in our introductions. We'll be back, Boris. Well, here we go. Look at Boris. Welcome back, folks, here, Miami International Science Fiction Film Festival, and we're in our second interview session here. And in this remainder of our lineup, we have Boris Scharschmidt with Antum.
Very good. Scharschmidt.
Yeah, Antumbra. And we're also going to have with us Richard the Carvalho with a blaster in the right hands, Star Wars epic out of Aussie land. And last but not least, Jim Eves is still with us here. You might get lost. So these three, I think that's all the three we have coming. So, how are you doing, Boris?
Very well. Thank you for asking. I'm not sure if the sound is good. I was not able to 100% check it. I hope the sound is good.
No, the sound is good. You sound good. You sound good. You're definitely getting. You're definitely nominated for best interview cinematography. That's
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
you got some depth of focus, depth of field going on here, man. It looks great.
Tried my
Boris,
best.
what's the name of his film?
I'm sorry, Antumbra. Antumbra. It's a sci-fi short. And Boris, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're coming from, and a little bit about the film.
Well, I am German, and I studied cinematography in Germany. And 15 years ago, so I'm not, a young buck anymore. I came out to the United States to study directing at AFI, and been in Los Angeles ever since. And right now, I'm also teaching directing at the New York Film Academy, and that's also where this project was filmed in collaboration with cinematography students.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Where are you based out at the New York Film Academy? Where is the office?
In Burbank, California. So there, we have.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why, but we definitely get news from them. We get news from this office, not frequently, but every year we get news from them. I don't know if we're on a mailing list or whatever, but we are well aware of who they are. That's awesome. That's fantastic.
Our main, or I would say, it's hard to say where our main campus, or not our main campus, but I think our main office is in New York. But we have, schools all around the world.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Matter of fact, one of our directors, Brooklyn, what was his name? Michael. Remember Michael? He was our
Chazen?
Michael Chasen. Michael Chasen, I believe, taught at the New York Film Academy. There's one in Florida, Boca Raton, or something like that.
There is. We have at Miami campus, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, he taught. He taught at that location. Yes. He and in fact, Michael Chasen is one of the folks that helped us architect and put together this festival. That's how influential he was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, we everywhere.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So tell us a little bit about your film.
Yeah. So this was a collaboration between cinematography students and the directing instructor, which was me. Which is, I must really say, a great opportunity. They team up cinematography students with directing instructors for one-day shoots. So basically, I come up with a story idea, and I cast the project. Basically, I organize the whole thing, and then NIFA provides the camera equipment and a studio space, and then we shoot this together, which is really great because I can keep the juices going, and the students learn to work with someone who's not a student. So I think this is a win-win situation for everybody.
That's right. It would be definitely.
Yeah.
It gives the students a taste, not just of filmmaking, but the process of marketing and what do you do after you make the film. It's so important. So important for people to know.
Also for the shoot, so because we really have we have how we call it, quite a lot we're going to do over the day, so the pace is high, and I'm pretty aggressive getting them going. So it's not like we're shooting a student project. We really try to be on professional level, and also there's a cinematography instructor there who works with the student to accomplish the director's vision. So it's really a win-win situation for everyone.
No, that's cool. That's awesome. Can you tell us how many festivals? How's this been received in the festival community?
So far, this is my third festival. I hope there are more festivals coming, so we'll see. And it's really amazing that we are part of Miami Sci-Fi, which is really an honor. And I must say that I tried a few festivals and not sure if it would lift off. No pun intended, and it really did. So I'm very surprised. So we'll definitely, submit to more.
That's good.
Students are very excited about it as well. So it's just really
that's good. Here's your poster.
Yes. That's thank you very much for showing this. Yeah, I'm very happy with it. It was, how can I say this? You know, I'm a big believer in internet community. So I worked with someone on Fiverr to do this poster. Not trying
Yeah.
to do here.
No, that's neat. Also, I know I have another one here that I know that, yeah, here we go. Hold on a second. This is a good one. Look at this one. What's going on here, man?
Yeah. This is when, you know, our astronaut enters the space station to investigate, you know, where this mysterious object's coming from.
I like the space suit.
Well, yeah, your lighting was fantastic, I have to say. It was just gorgeous.
You know, I'm a sci-fi geek, you know, so I always wanted to do something like this. So when this opportunity came along, I was just, you know, I was super, you know, freaking out because this was great for me. And I must say I learned so much and things you don't expect. I mean, like this little shot here, you know, the little things that can go wrong with, you know, helmet lighting and, you know, and batteries turning off and all these little things, right? Because they look so easy when you see, you know, someone in a spacesuit, but it's just really hard to do. Starting with sweating actors and sound muffled and all these little things. So I must say, I've grown after this project.
No, that's awesome. How did you? Real technical question, real quick. Then we have to move on. But how did you overcome the condensation that would build up in the helmet?
So this is actually this is a good question. I was you know wondering how would they do it, and actually so I rented this spacesuit from a costume rental place, and they actually have a fan mounted in the back. You know where you
Wow.
where you would have
Sounds familiar, Brooklyn?
Oh yeah.
No, that's good. That's I too made a spacesuit, so I kind of am familiar with the
Yeah, we didn't have.
Yeah.
We had a lot of issues with ours.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah, it
pretty-
was beautiful. Just the lighting was beautiful.
yeah.
very much appreciated. Yeah, with the fog, when you fog it up, it's so nice. You have those piercing light rays, and it's just
Yeah,
great.
it was nice. The angles, the shots that you chose, and I love the twist at the end. I did not see that one coming.
Oh,
Wow.
Roll away.
I won't, but it was just like, wow, I didn't, just didn't see it coming. I loved it. Loved the ending.
Awesome.
I think, you know, and I think that's also what I teach my stories is, you know, my students. That's how I so much think about story. I think story is, you know, so crucial, right? And if you're telling a good story, you know, people will be drawn into this. And that's why every little piece, you know, be it 5 minutes or 90 minutes, story is key.
Yeah, because you know, in life, stories are unpredictable. You never know how anything's going to end. So
That's right.
it's nice to watch a film, and it was a short, wasn't it? It was a short.
Yes.
To compile all of that and still have a surprise wow ending that leaves you thinking.
That has, and Brooklyn, you know, that has been a theme this year. We did not know what to expect this season. At the height of the pandemic, you know, is when we received this bulk of films. And
we're like, God, are we going to get any films? And all of a sudden, oh my God, we have like 300 films.
It was more than it was more than some previous years, and so we were very thrilled with this.
Yeah.
I add that it also shows how much good that's really out there, because the type of films we're getting are people who really think about their stories. So they're providing us with either it's just a good story, you know, and it's a feel-good story, or it's a twist where you're like, whoa, that's totally not what I expected, or it's a cliffhanger and you're like, it takes you to the very peak of interest where you're just so thrilled and your eyes are focused on this film and it stops. So it's pure textbook quality productions that we have at the festival, and I am thrilled. And, you know, good job, Boris. I am thrilled that we are noticeable enough that people send us content like this. So good job, man. Good job. And And tell us what's next. What's next? What's next for you?
Well, I mean, like, so many, when I was listening into these interviews, of course, I'm working on a feature film, and, I'm about to finish my fifth and hopefully final draft of another sci-fi, actually. So it's going to
Can you stand a little closer to the microphone?
Yeah, you sound far away.
Was the sound far away the whole time?
Off and on.
It's fine for me.
Okay. That's weird.
Maybe
Is
it's
this
just
better?
me.
Same.
Same. That's weird. I was just.
That means there's another microphone somewhere else.
Maybe my microphone just has dropped out.
Put it on the other side of your beard.
that.
No,
Yeah.
on the other side, behind it.
It's the
Major
beard.
Yeah.
This is Major Tom.
Yeah.
Urs, can you read me? Okay. That's unfortunate. I tested the audio. Okay. Well, I can speak a little louder. How's that?
Okay.
It definitely needs to be closer because the levels are the same.
Huh. Okay. Well, I mean, this is my microphone right here. So
that's great. Yeah.
I'm speaking right in the microphone right now.
Perfect.
So I'm also working on a feature film. The final draft is hopefully done in the next 2 weeks.
Final draft.
The whole fundraising campaign soon, and it's a sci-fi drama, and it's called Mauya. And more on my webpage soon. And it starts off as a drama and a couple that gets stuck in snow and ice, but it turns into an alien abduction film pretty soon.
Oh, that's great.
Ooh.
We love abductions. That's great.
Yeah, keep us posted. Keep us posted.
I will for sure.
That sounds good, Boris. All right. Well, listen, definitely stick around all this week. We're going to have lots of festival activities. So please participate. There'll be some awesome panels that I think you're going to enjoy. And any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to the team because we are here.
Thank you very much. And again, thank you very much. It's a pleasure and nice meeting
Thank
you all.
Dankeschön. All right. That was fun. So who do we have here? Richard.
Hello, guys. How you going?
All right. So
And what is your film, Richard?
Richard,
my film is A Blaster in the Right Hands, a Star Wars story.
Hold on a second. I know I have a trailer. I know there's a trailer. Come on,
There is, yeah.
Well, I'm going to get the trailer because we want to see this. Thanks so much, Boris. Brooklyn, give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay. And yours must be a feature film, correct?
No, it's a short film. Yeah, I don't have the Disney money yet to do a feature, so.
Yet. Keyword yet. And you are from Australia, I take it?
Yes, yeah, Sydney, Australia.
So what time is it there now?
It is 8:45 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
That's different.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been getting used to the world times lately and just jumping in and out of the future. So it's been an adjustment, but I'm getting the hang of it.
You have a time machine tucked away somewhere?
Yeah. This is my Hubble.
Hubble number one.
Richard,
Nice.
can you send me? Can you post a copy of the trailer in the link in the private chat here, as well as Jim?
Yeah, I'll actually, let's have a look.
Troy, how many more filmmakers we have coming up?
Next is our last person is Jim Eves.
Which film is that?
It's the feature film You Might Get Lost.
Oh, okay.
And then
So I'm just having a little technical issue of pasting it into the chat, but I sent you an email, Troy, if that helps.
I'll get it. 1 second. Just bear with me here. I've got something that just came across the flyer here off the wireless.
Well, in the meantime, tell us about yourself, Richard.
So I'm a director based in Sydney, Australia. I'm also the co-founder of Lunacraft Productions, along with my amazing, talented, hardworking wife and producer, Carol. We're going on about 5 years now. We're a little startup, so we have creative services. We do creative content, but ideally, we love making movies and producing stories that we're passionate about. And my background really goes back in design. I've been a lifelong movie fan, movie buff. Since I was a kid, I wanted to be an animator, and then in my teens, I discovered the world of cinema and film, and it's never really lost, and it's just become this kind of beautiful obsession. But at the time, kind of grew up.
We can totally tell you're obsessed with your filmmaking, that you would make a fan film that you literally cannot make a dime off of, but you spent whopping globs of money and time producing.
The costumes were awesome.
Yeah, so that itself you're definitely
love the costumes.
Yeah, the costumes were by so they were designed by myself, but I mean they were brought to life by Jesse Love, who's our costume designer, and it was an amazing effort. Like we tried to be as authentic as we could, because they're original characters, bar one, this guy, but and it's an original story, but we did go into every little kind of detail we could that made it feel like it was canon in the whole Star Wars lore, but also that it felt somewhat authentic as well, and almost something that felt timeless, but kind of made, around the original trilogy era.
Wow.
And was that filmed like just outside of Sydney?
Yeah, well, it's an hour from Sydney. So, I mean, ideally we wanted to, I'm a huge Mad Max fan. And I would have loved to have filmed in Broken Hill, but that's logistically to get the crew out there. I mean, the whole production was already costing us quite a bit, and to facilitate that, I mean, I would have loved to have shot there, but it just wasn't on the card. So we had to try and find something that felt that it could be.
We lost your sound, Richard.
No, he sounds fine to me. He sounds good to me. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, so we wanted to find a location that felt off-world, rural, felt kind of Star Warsy, alien, but at the same time kind of felt Australian at the same time, and kind of old west, new frontier kind of land.
It totally felt like a Star Wars film, and I didn't get the gist of Australia other than maybe some of the accents, but it totally felt like a Star Wars film. And of course it's primarily because the acting style, the delivery, and your costuming. It's that simple. The costuming was out of this world. I actually have a new costume, which is a Krennic. I've got a Krennic
fantastic
uniform. You'll see that. So I totally get this. And correct me if I'm wrong, this has not been publicly released yet, right?
Not yet. No, not yet. We were going to. Yeah, we were going to. I mean, there've been so many delays, man. Because even going back last year, when we were at the tail end of post production, I was just coming from LA, And then we had bushfires, and then from the bushfires, then we had the pandemic. Everything kind of slowed that down. And then, fortunately, we had one of our big sci-fi film festivals here in Australia really embrace the film. But with the pandemic and then cinemas shutting down, we never really got that kind of release. And, you know, how it was across the whole world, people were just trying to figure out, especially, you know, festivals and venues were just trying to figure out when this, you know, taking each day as it comes. So it was really a, it was high anxiety for a while for a lot of reasons, especially coming to this production. But we just really found that in regards to the production and our film, that it has been this kind of blessing, because even though unfortunately we are all in the same boat together in regards to this pandemic, it's actually this online viewing and sharing and just meeting people such as yourselves and everything has been actually wonderful, absolutely amazing that we live in this time of technology that we can share these stories and kind of meet each other. And so I've been just flat out the past couple of weeks since the reception Blaster has been kind of getting, which has been amazing. So it's been really quite kind of wonderful in that regard. So we haven't publicly released the film. We just feel like it's doing so well with the festivals at the moment. And a lot of the festivals that we've touched on don't have an issue of releasing it publicly. So we will release it soon, and we will share those dates soon.
Let's share the trailer. Can we do that?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, here we go.
So happens I sent out a distress beacon before we got shut down.
And if whatever shut us down finds us before help arrives, what then?
Woo!
Love it.
Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Very nice. Well, listen, we're real tight on time, guys, and we've got to get to our last one of the day. But there's going to be plenty of time to continue to hash this out and to celebrate your work, plus the works like you and everybody else here. So stick around. I know the time is like crazy. We're in a weird time zone, but that's what a sci-fi festival is all about. You know, you'd have been here and you'd have been suffering from an extreme case of dehydration and jet lag, and who knows, post-COVID, whatever. So
that's right. Yeah.
You know, we can't have you getting COVID, so that's why we're doing it like this. So thanks so much, and we will chat again in the next day or two.
Yes, lovely. All here
right.
for it. Just give me a call.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank
now.
you, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Jim.
Hello.
Man, it's been a while.
It has, but I mean, how am I supposed to follow a Star Wars movie? That's not fair. That looked awesome.
Listen, Yeah, it's yeah, of course it's awesome because it's built on top of the Lucas legacy. Lucas legacy is decades of just, pure fun.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
And what you have created, in our opinion, is a craft that few get to make people experience. Okay, and you have produced an awesome story with twists and turns that would make the average viewer not put they're not going to leave. They'll pause the movie, go get the coffee, go get the spaghetti, whatever's coming out of the oven, but don't disturb me. I'm going to finish watching this film. I got to see what happens next because it's a heck of a story, man.
Yeah. Tell everybody the name of your film.
So it's called You Might Get Lost, and it's I describe it as a science fiction horror about a lady who's kind of making a real mess of her life. She's having an affair. She's drinking too much. She causes the death of her son, and then she gets the opportunity to go back and change things, but things aren't quite right in her new version of reality.
Woo. You're right about that.
Yeah, no kidding. Whew.
She has some trouble. So I'd like to bring up the trailer if I can here. Hold on. 1 second. If you don't mind, of course, right? Ready? Here we go.
I've done something terrible. Let's check the times, honey.
We should press first. Just once.
I've been having an affair with someone at work. Neglected my family, and I've made some very, very bad choices.
That look on your face. I've seen it before. In the mirror. It must be in the blood.
Procedure you're about to go through has its risks.
This isn't going to end well for you.
We won't meet again.
I've been having some issues, and I'm having trouble staying present.
It's called drifting. Try to remain as calm as you can. Stress the
Great shot.
No, you've got to go.
Oh!
Oh! Oh my gosh! I might have to watch it again.
It's a twister.
I mean, well, I just need to know, where did you come up with that concept? It was very original.
Yeah, it's a funny one actually. I don't know if it's been done in that way before.
No, it hasn't. I haven't seen it.
Films that have done it that way before, but I just wondered. I guess I wondered if you ever did get a chance to time travel, and it's not really. I wouldn't class it necessarily as a time travel movie, but if you did have the chance, then would you not have some sort of PTSD of past events that would affect you? You know, you'd remember the worst moments of your life, and they'd kind of seep into everything you did. So I guess that's where it came from.
So well done.
Yeah,
the
editing was very
so
good.
Well
editing.
done.
You would have these edits between one reality to another reality.
Yeah, and the I don't know. I didn't find it like a horror movie, but boy, the stuff she did. Whew.
We would label it a thriller / horror.
Suspense, sci-fi. Yeah, it was all
it has horrific
rolled up in one. Yeah.
But it has more suspense and thrill than horror.
Yeah, I
And
agree with you.
and that edginess that is on the like Brooklyn, I keep saying, the Lifetime channel. This is like a mirror universe of the Lifetime channel. And the Lifetime channel is all of these stories of these horrible husbands and the women that seek revenge. Okay. And instead, this is like the mirror universe of the Lifetime channel, where there's this woman who's horrible. She's horrible, the things that she does.
But she's trying to do good, poor thing.
Yeah, and then she's like, I gotta change my life. And it one backfire after the next. And the things that she goes through to try to put her life back together. I'm not going to take away from it because it's something you have to see, people. Thank you, Richard. Richard, thank you so much for being on board. But it's something you have to see. It's a film that has great cinematography. The actors, Corinne, is that the right pronunciation?
Wicks, yeah. She's
spectacular actress. Okay, nominated by the way, and so we are really. It blew it. I did not expect it. I did not expect this. And then, of course, I came across the poster because I don't look at the posters. I usually don't look at anything until after I watch the film because it's not fair. I want to watch the whole film, all the film, before I make any kind of judgment. Some people,
right? So is your background in film? Do you have like a master's in film, and how long have you been a filmmaker?
So I studied film maybe 20 years ago. I did my uni degree, and I left uni, got a postgraduate loan, made a film with the money. And just since then, I've just been making micro-budget movies. So there we go. She is. And in the daytime, I'm also videographer, so I do on-the-water filming. But yes, this is maybe my 5th film I think I've made.
Wow.
And yeah, like you say, Corinne's just amazing in it.
Yeah, that's an excellent poster.
Love the poster.
I'm not going to say what's going on, but that's an excellent poster. Scares the hell out of you.
Thank you.
What are you writing now? Anything else?
Yeah, is she going to attend the festival? Should we also?
Yeah. Corinne would definitely say hi. She's she's a relatively big name in the UK because she's done a lot of TV over here. But I'm hoping this will really give her a platform overseas because people can actually see what she can do. Because she was in a sort of primetime British medical drama, and she was also in a primetime soap. So this is the first sort of step out of that into feature films. But she's brilliant, and to be able to make a film with somebody, because she's in I think she's in every scene bar one, and she had to keep track of all of those different events that we're talking about, all those jumps. She had to know where she was heading, where she was coming back from, and to do all of that, I couldn't have made it without her. She's amazing.
Yeah, you may or may not know, she was in Doctors, the TV series Doctors. That's 6 years of Doctors. Big TV series on BBC. Holby City TV series, which was part of that as well, and past that from 1999 to 2009. So over a decade of programming there. And then she's in the TV series Emmerdale Farm. It's another TV series that she was in about a half dozen episodes, as well as Coronation Street, which is one of the latest series in 2019. So we've
also got Colin Baker.
Yes.
We've got Colin Baker, who's previously Doctor Who. So he was the 6th Doctor.
I knew I saw him somewhere.
Yes.
We got Doctor Who in a film that involves an element of time travel. Might I add? So that was a bit of a coup for us.
He liked that. He liked it. He liked the film. Yeah. What did he say when you gave him the script? What did he say?
Yeah, he was. He said yes. He's originally, me and him were going to make a different film together, and it never quite happened. And I said to him, well, while I try and raise the money for this other film, do you fancy reading a script for You Might Get Lost? So he said, yeah, sure, I'll give it a go. And he shot with us. He was with us for 2 days. and we managed to cram in all of the scenes that he's in the film. But he's such a nice guy and really got real acting chops. You know, I'll work with both of these guys again because they're just so good, so quality. They both come with a kind of TV pedigree that just makes my life so much easier.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. No, that's very high profile, man. You've got yourself a piece of work. Can you tell me last two questions? Can you tell me and we'll pick up. We'll definitely pick up because we're going to be having some more conversations. But can you tell me how has the film performed in the festival circuit?
So we're relatively new in the festival circuit. I think we've got maybe 3 lined up at the moment. We've kind of spread far and wide with it because, like you say, it's a strange film in that it's not a conventional horror film. So entering it into horror festivals tricky because there's not that much gore, but when things happen, they happen.
Right.
And again, science fiction's a angle we've gone for with it. So yeah, we're sort of early doors festivals wise.
When was the film was produced? 2020, right?
That's right. Yeah. So I finished doing the sound and the editing during lockdown, and then we've recently signed with MPX, a sales agent in America, who are going to start to promote the film in March.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you're not doing any festivals after that?
Oh, we will. Yeah. We've got a lot.
Did you send your film to CineQuest over in Provo, Utah?
I don't know if we did. I'll have to check that.
Provo, Utah. Okay. Let me make sure I get the right name here.
And so what are you working on now?
So I'm currently considering what I'm going to do, but I think what I'll probably do is we'll do Neighbours from Hell, which was the film I was going to do with Colin, which is about a demonic dinner party. So it's kind of a Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf meets Evil Dead. And Colin's always wanted to do a horror, so he's mad keen on doing this film.
You still have time. FilmQuest is not until May.
Oh, okay. I'll be sure and check that out.
FilmQuest, and I would recommend them. That's we've met them in Brooklyn. They're very, very good people. I also recommend Other Worlds Austin. Other Worlds Austin has another festival connected to it called Underworlds Austin, which is a horror fest. So it kind of, you got a little wiggle room. Okay, yeah. They're going to see it. This one's going to like it. These guys are going to see it. They're going to like it. And it ends up being a WWF event. And I also recommend Buffalo. I keep forgetting where they're. I think they're out of New York State. Buffalo. It's a sci-fi festival, but they're in Film Freeway. These are sister festivals that I recommend. The Berlin's, Boston. Boston just happened last week, so I don't know if you're going to wait another year for that. But Boston's very good. Berlin, and of course Sci-Fi London. Have you done any other science fiction festivals?
I have. We've done a ton of them. I wouldn't know off the top of my head this particular sci-fi, but I know I'm not in those ones, so I'll definitely look those up. Thank you for that.
Those are the top ones.
Yeah. That's where I should be.
So is your genre mainly horror? Is that like what your passion is? Horror?
I think any kind of genre movies, yeah, horror, sci-fi. I'm a bit of a science fiction nerd. I mean, when Richard was talking, if the lights, you could see this room, it's like a Star Wars shrine. So I'm very excited about watching that movie. So yeah, I love a sci-fi. I love a horror. Anything like that, complete nerd.
Yeah, and you blended the two very well because I don't like horror movies at all. I love a good suspense thriller, and this was definitely thrilling.
I'm telling you, have those Max folks. And I don't want to tell anybody what to do, but you guys are paying me to do that. Have them look at Lifetime. Don't you agree, Brooklyn? This is a great Lifetime film. It's a great
because Lifetime, I mean, I did a Lifetime movie. Lifetime is predictable, simple plot, basic, the basic script,
they have
30, family drama.
Just like the people over at the Hallmark Channel. I said the same thing to them. The Hallmark Channel needs to make
Not a lot of violence on Lifetime at all.
a Santa sci-fi. So Lifetime needs to go a little sci-fi because it will work. They'll lose little viewership if they don't do it. Because everybody's going into sci-fi. You've got to have that suspense. You know, you can't use the same old trope of the angry husband or angry ex-husband that whacks your kids and kills everybody else. You kill him with a butcher's knife. Come on, that's so hashtag Florida man. You got to go beyond that. And Jim has done that with this film, and it's, you know, it's nomination quality. It's good stuff, and it's 90 minutes long. It's 90
Yeah, I'm curious. I can't hear you, Troy, anymore. I might have to cut out.
Okay.
I can barely hear anybody.
All right. So,
yeah,
Jim, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I don't think so. I'm not very good at selling the film. You guys are better than me at that. So thank you. That's I need to take you with me to other festivals and
sure. I'm for hire. I'll work for free. Did you shoot that in England or did you shoot that in
We shot all on location in Southampton. So that was all around where we lived. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
And how is it shooting there? Do they restrict you a lot when you're shooting outside, or
no? When we shot it in 2018. But no, over here, as long as you're not in London. If you're in London, then it's where's your permit. But anywhere else in the UK, and we've got such good sort of scenery, and you know, it's a great place to shoot because you can get away with shooting most places.
And the hospital, was that a set that you built, or was
so we were fortunate. So we made the film in conjunction with the university, and they've got a science lab there. So we just nipped in there for a couple of hours and filmed all the stuff. Yeah, there.
Yeah, I love that whole scene where they shove the thing down her. I don't want to give it away, but when she takes her special pill.
Don't give it away.
Yeah. And I have to say, I love that the lead actress was a mature woman.
Yeah.
As opposed to like a 20-something that hasn't been around.
You know what?
I love that she was middle-aged and mature and still beautiful. And
yeah, it was early on when I was casting it. There was a temptation to make her younger, much younger. And when I met Corinne, she was in a slightly older bracket, but just brought so much more to it, and believable as a mother. Do you know what I mean? She has
a wife,
if
and the office worker with the younger guy. It was just it was just nice to see a woman that looks like your everyday woman.
Yeah,
and that has life experience.
That's right. Job well done.
Very well cast. The father was awesome too. Her dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, very well cast.
All right. So, well, that's it. That wraps us up. And Jim, you deserve an award just for hanging out with us all afternoon.
No, it was brilliant. It's really good. I've written them all down, all the short films. I'm definitely going to check them all out. They're so cool, all of them. I could listen to was it Ginyu? I could listen to him talk for hours about his stuff. It was fascinating.
Yes, very, very nice. Very nice gentleman.
Yeah.
He's amazing. Well, listen, that's it for now. And it's going on what, 11, 12 o'clock over there in the UK?
It's about 10:30. 10:30.
Oh, that's not too bad. 10:30. That's not bad.
All right.
That's Bathwater time.
Thank you so much for making a brilliant film and letting us be able to see it, and tell your Corinne that I'm a big fan.
I will.
And I enjoyed her performance so much. So
thank you.
Tell her that for me.
Appreciate that.
All right. Well, we will definitely rendezvous again, and definitely stay close to the wireless because I will be sending messages out quite frequently. as far as what's going on between now and the day-to-day activities of the festival. All right.
Cool.
Okay, Jim. Thank you
Great.
so much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
for having me.